I need to talk to you guys about the OneFootball app. See, the OneFootball app is the best football app there is out there, and I use it for a load of different reasons. It's great for transfer rumours, team news and starting 11s, which is actually really useful when I'm making these tactical videos. On top of that, you can now watch game highlights and even live matches, all on the OneFootball app. And believe it or not, it actually gets even better than that, because now you can do it all for free if you use the link in the description down below. So make sure to get in the description, press the link and download the OneFootball app right away. Trust me, you guys will not regret downloading this app. It really is great. Hey guys, welcome back to the AJ Analysis channel. I hope you're all well and healthy. Today we're going to be doing what is probably the easiest video that I will ever do on this channel, because we witnessed one of the easiest wins you will see in the Premier League this season. Brentford in particular will not have an easier result. It was of course their 4-0 win over Manchester United, and we've got the lineups on screen here. United were in sort of a 4-3-3, maybe a 4-2-3-1 with Fred dropping in, and Brentford were a 5-3-2, although that's a little bit disrespectful to their approach because the wing-backs were quite high, so perhaps it was more of a 3-5 and then that front two. Now this video is going to be really straightforward, and there's one main thing I want to look at, and that is how Brentford pressed Manchester United, because that was how they won the game. And typically when we do a video like this, there might be some interesting patterns of play we see. The fullbacks might be something that's quite interesting. The wingers will be used in a certain way. This was really straightforward. This is football at its most simple form, and Brentford absolutely destroyed Manchester United. So let's just get right into it. So as we'd expect under Erik ten Hag, Manchester United want to play their way out from the back, and that starts with De Gea in goal. Maguire would then split to his right, Lisandro Martinez to his left, and then Eriksen in the middle, Shaw out wide, and then Dalot out wide on the other side, sometimes a little bit narrower. And like I've said in the past, the other players are then kind of left to play slightly further forward. So what Brentford done, they went man for man. We saw Ivan Toney push up on Harry Maguire, Mbeumo on Martinez, Hickey up to Shaw, and then Henry at left wing back all the way up on Dalot. Now the most important player in this press was Jensen here. Now we might have expected him and Brentford to play in a reserved way, holding a deeper position in the midfield. But no, he was absolutely key to the press, because he pushed all the way up on Christian Eriksen here, Norgard went to Fernandes, and then De Silva on Fred. And what we can see is that Brentford have gone man for man in every position. Now when that happens, what you have to do is play the ball long to bypass the press. Not if you're Manchester United apparently. And we can see the shape here actually. So we can see here that you've got Toney pushed up, you've got Mbeumo pushed up, and you've got Jensen pushed up on Christian Eriksen here. And this was the first warning. This was before the goals had really come from the press, and we can see the warning signs here, because Maguire takes far too long on the ball, and then for some reason passes to Eriksen, who we can see is literally marked by a player about a yard away from him. Now, the pass goes into Eriksen, he loses the ball, Brentford race forward, Maguire makes a last-ditch foul, and the free kick is given away. And we can see the pressing shape here. Wing back onto the fullback, wing back onto the fullback, Jensen on Eriksen, Toney on Maguire, and Mbeumo on Lisandro Martinez. It's really basic, it's man-for-man marking, and like I said, when that is the situation, you just have to send the ball long. Because if you do, what we can see, when you go man-for-man, it does mean if the ball does go long, we then have a 3v3 up here. But for some reason, for whatever reason, De Gea didn't do that. And for me, that's the biggest concern, because in the post-match interviews, Ten Hag has said that the game plan was to draw the press on, which we can see they've done here. We can see they have drawn Brentford onto them. And like I keep saying, that leaves the space further forward, and Ten Hag literally said that the plan was to do this, draw them on, and then send the ball longer. So why were the players not doing that? David De Gea in particular in goal, why was that not happening? Like, that's not a tactical thing that needs to be broken down, that is players not fulfilling the instructions of the manager. And that's really concerning, more than anything, more than technical ability or the tactics of the manager. For players to literally just not do the instructions that they were told is really concerning for Manchester United moving forward. Now, unfortunately for De Gea, it kind of got worse from there, and he had a really bad day. We're going to look through the 4 goals, and we're going to see that De Gea really did have a rough day. But I just want to point out the performance of Jensen for Brentford in midfield. He was absolutely brilliant, and he was integral, and he is the reason that Brentford won this football match, in particular with his pressing on Christian Eriksen. So let's have a look first. So the first goal comes from here. Manchester United have a throw in deep in their own half on the right hand side, and the ball comes in here to Ronaldo. And who is it that wins the ball back? That's right, it is Jensen, and we're going to see that the ball sort of ricochets across over here. Now from here, because it was Manchester United's throw in, the team was kind of pushed over to one side of the pitch. The whole team had moved over here onto the right hand side. So we can see
Maguire is too far across, Martinez is too far across, and now Shaw is as well. Now, Lisandro Martinez does a pretty good job. He does eventually get out to this ball and close the shot down. And, I mean, the less said about the shot here that goes in the near post, the better. It's a horrendous error from De Gea. You will not see a worse goalkeeping error this season. Now, well, so I thought, actually. Because if we now go to the second goal, we will see that he does something worse. But again, if we notice, Jensen was the one that started this move with the tackle on Ronaldo. And it's Jensen that's key again here. So once again, we can see the Brentford pressing shape. The strikers are matching up with the Manchester United centre-backs. Jensen is on Eriksen here. And the wing-backs are on the Manchester United full-backs. So again, what is the solution? The solution to this problem is to send the ball long, where you can now have a 3v3. Ronaldo is good in the air, so there's a decent chance he wins this ball. You are now behind the Brentford team. But no.
I am just going to quickly interrupt because we do have another sponsor for today's video, and that is jerseyfifa.com, the website you need to head to right away to get yourself the latest and greatest football shirts, all at an extremely affordable price. The link will be in the description below, so head there right away to get yourself a great shirt, again at a great price. Now back to the video.
De Gea persists and plays the ball short, and Eriksen Jensen, that is the key battle here. Now De Gea plays the ball in here, Jensen is immediately on his back. Jensen was so quick to react, and like I said, he deserves a lot of credit for it. What he was doing was basic, but if Manchester United are going to let you beat them with basic football, then play that basic football. You beat what's in front of you. United were poor, you don't have to play great football to beat them. The ball goes in here, Eriksen loses the ball, and it leads to a goal. Now what was interesting, I thought, was that Brentford obviously Eriksen worked for them last season, and Brentford seemed very aware of the fact that Eriksen was right-footed. So when you receive this pass here, let's go back to this screen actually. If you are a right-footed player, in Eriksen here, when you receive the ball like this with your back to play, the natural way to go is to play the ball out to your right back, because you play a right-footed sweeping pass just across your body out to Dalot. Now, Eriksen could turn and come this way occasionally, but that's where he's just not a natural holding midfielder. Now, Erik ten Hag has already received some criticism for that, claims of naivety, because Eriksen isn't used to playing holding midfield, so people are saying he shouldn't have played there. But my counterpoint to that is, what would happen if you played Fred there? We saw it last week, he gives the ball away. What would happen if McTominay played there? We saw it last week, he gives the ball away. What would happen if you play... There aren't other options. This is all Manchester United have. This was the best option to play as a holding midfielder in this game, and that is the big problem with recruitment. Manchester United have to sign a holding midfielder. If they don't, they've got problems. A better holding midfielder in certain situations would have turned away with this ball. But Eriksen isn't used to playing in that way, and Brentford knew that, and they used it as the pressing trigger. So when the pass came in, they knew Eriksen was going to pass this way, which made it really simple for Jensen, because he just had to press here. And every time Eriksen tried to play the ball out wide to Dalot, it was Jensen winning the ball here. Now, if we go back to the chance we were looking at a minute ago, this situation here, this one. Here, Maguire plays in here, and the first thing Eriksen does is plays a sweeping right pass out here. Jensen presses on his left-hand side, intercepts the ball, and goes forward. Like I said, this led to a free kick for Brentford. The free kick eventually went over the bar, and Manchester United got this goal kick, this exact goal kick. So this is less than 2 minutes later, Manchester United make the exact same mistake. They play the ball to a marked Christian Eriksen. He tries to play the ball on his right foot. Jensen presses to his left, wins the ball. They get into the box, and it ends up in the back of the net, with Christian Eriksen now your deepest defender. That's an issue. Now, this goal from the corner, this one I think is perhaps less team structural blame. So the ball goes deep towards the back post. Maguire's beaten in the air, and you just have to watch De Gea here. Watch the way that De Gea commands his box. So here, he's not affecting play. He's still not affecting play. He's still not affecting play, and the ball is now in the back of his net. Now, I do have some criticism over Lisandro Martinez, because Ben Mee isn't a big centre-back at all. Like, height-wise, he's one of the smaller centre-backs in the Premier League, and Martinez still gets done, and he just didn't jump. I don't know if he was off balance or whatever, but for me, he has to impact that ball more. But also De Gea, the ball has gone across your 6-yard box, nearly across your line, and you haven't affected the play once. It just isn't good enough. And then, this goal here. Now, this is Manchester United on the attack, but on a rare occurrence in this game. Manchester United actually got the ball forward for once, and they concede from it. And what we can see here is Brentford are about to clear the ball in this situation here. Now, you can't quite see Maguire. He's just behind me. Let me move that real quick. So Maguire here, right? Maguire is looking forward, facing the ball, not what's behind him. And what's behind him is Ivan Toney. Eriksen's your deep midfielder. Maguire is your centre-back. And they are both looking this way. They are both facing the ball. Meanwhile, Ivan Toney's going the other way. Ivan Toney's going, okay, if you're going to be static and face that way, I'm just going to go in behind. And what happens? The ball gets played in behind the defence over the top. Look where Maguire is. Nowhere to be seen. Eriksen is back here, and now your left centre-back is being dragged over to basically right back to cover for all the other players that have already made mistakes. Now, Ivan Toney does brilliantly, and I thought he showed some things that were real Erik ten Hag striker performance. Think Haller last season. Ivan Toney was absolutely brilliant. He races down the line, plays the ball across. De Gea does that, stands there, doesn't impact the ball once. Great. And it goes in the back of the net. That's 4-0. Manchester United are out of the game. Second half, it kind of got a bit better, but it's really bad. I focused on one tactical ploy here, and that was going man-for-man press. If players in a game situation, if De Gea in this situation, with this picture in front of him of his 5 deepest players being marked, if you can't figure out in that situation that you need to send the ball long, you're going to lose the football match. Unfortunately, De Gea didn't figure that out, so they lost the football match. It really is as simple as that. Now, it's a horrible start to the season for Manchester United. Now, I was saying a few weeks ago, I'd done a video looking at what to expect from Ten Hag's first season, and I said there will be goals that are conceded like this. It will take time to play out from the press, and it will take time to adjust to dealing with attacking transitions. But this is really bad. This is the fundamentals of football being done wrong by experienced footballers, and it just isn't good enough. Erik ten Hag has to be backed. If we don't see backing very quick, and in terms of a new holding midfielder, a new midfielder, maybe a striker, maybe a winger, Manchester United are in trouble. Now, let me know in the comments down below what position you think needs to be prioritised. I think it's pretty clear when you're playing an ageing Eriksen out of position, because it's the only hope. I'm not criticising Ten Hag here. At the same time, I think he will have learned a lot. I think these first 2 weeks have been really, really bad for United, but Erik ten Hag will have learned a lot about the quality of the Premier League. Now, in the Eredivisie, as good as Ajax were, the mid-table teams in Eredivisie are not as good as the mid-table teams in the Premier League. Brentford and Brighton are good football teams. They're not the best in the world, though. And this is the mid-table Premier League. So Ten Hag will now understand the quality in this league. He will also understand the personality and the character of some of these players, which I think does have to be questioned. I'm not going to sit and point fingers at individual players, but I think we all have our opinions on that. And then also, he more than ever now knows these players are not good enough to play his style. The question is, do the board know that? Do the scouts know that? Do the recruitment team know that? That's what we have to wait and see. That's what we have to find out over the next coming weeks. If United don't make changes, the plan isn't going to work. If they make changes and back the manager, it will work. It's as simple as that. Now we just have to wait and see what happens. Manchester United were humbled by Brentford, completely outplayed. High praise for Brentford. They noticed the United weaknesses and exploited them with a really, really simple pattern. Football is a simple game. They scored 4, United scored none. That's how it ends up. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.